Hello, my name is Abe, and today we are going to take a look at Fate Hunters. Fate Hunters is a fantasy deck builder game currently in early access on Steam, and if I had to pick a couple of games that this reminds me of, I would say that it's probably a meld between Slay the Spire and Magic the Gathering. There's a few elements from both of those collectible card deck builder games merged together, plus it has its own twists on deck construction and deck permanence. I'm going to go through, the basics of the game, go through some of the mechanics, show you some of the gameplay, and tell you what I like and don't like about this game. Because there are some things about Fate Hunters that I do not enjoy, and to me personally, they're borderline deal-breaking. They kind of make the game, I'm not going to say unplayable to me, but I think that they definitely need to be, to me personally, they kind of do make the game unplayable because I don't enjoy particular mechanics that are in Fate Hunters, but we'll talk about those when we get to them. Again, it's an early access game, so there's not going to be a lot of, music, necessarily, animation, stuff like that, but at least right now, this game has all of the mechanics, theoretically, in the game added to the game. So we're going to take a look at those. The game has multiple different classes you can play. Each class has their own amount of starting health, 12, 10, and they also have their own starting deck and card effects that you can get during your run in Fate Hunters. So the Inquisitor has Last Word, which can appear as an effect on his cards. And Last Word means that if you play this card when it's the last card in your hand, it deals a bonus effect. The Arcanist, the second class character, has a Choose One effect that can appear on her cards. Cards with this ability have two effects, but only one will apply. The Raider is a third character in the game, has Exile. Cards with this ability can remove cards from play. Basically, Exhaust from Slay the Spire. I'm going to be talking a lot about other card games, Hearthstone, Magic, Shadowverse, Slay the Spire, because it's oftentimes simpler to just refer to existing games as examples when you're referring to things, but I will try my best to still explain what the effects do. So, I guess in this case of this game, it tells you, Exile removes cards from play. Permanently, I believe. Berserker has Rage. You may spend Rage tokens to apply additional effects. Interesting. Spy uses skills of other characters. I guess he's like a weird combo character. But we're just going to play as the Inquisitor, who is the most basic guy to choose from. We'll hit start. An interesting thing about Fate Hunters is that you can construct your own starting deck. You have basic abilities that you can take. Only supply cards are allowed to be changed. 4 punches and 1 light lance, deal 2 damage to a creature and draw a card. These are the things that we have to take. But supplies, torch, dagger, healing potion, belt, healing herbs. We can buy supplies to take with us by, getting the meta currency of the game. Your experience unlocks are all done through these coins. So if we manage to collect coins, we can unlock Dagger Bandolier. 1 use adds 3 daggers to your hand. Or Buckler, 1 use gain a shield. And then we can, replace our supply with those. I don't know if you can start with only the skills, but we're just going to start with the basic default deck of 10 cards, and we will begin. Again, it's an early access game. The mechanics are here, so don't expect fully, all the animations to be here. Don't expect any actual story or plot. There is none. It's literally just the gameplay, 100%. So in Fate Hunters, unlike something like Slay the Spire, you only have 12 HP. The enemies roughly have single-digit HPs. It's kind of more like Magic in that sense, or Hearthstone. Enemies are usually pretty weak, but there are more of them. You can be, mobbed by, 6 or 7 enemies at once, and you really do need to kind of manage your own HP a little bit more than something like Slay the Spire. You're going to be ground down over time in that game. I guess you can be ground down over time in this game, but it seems to be more bursty in that sense. We have 2 enemies, Skeleton Warrior, a 3/2 enemy. That means he does 3 attack, aka he will damage us for 3, and he has 2 health. We have to do 2 damage to him to kill him. And a Dire Wolf with Critical Strike, which you can see in the little tooltip that pops up, gives him a 25% chance to deal double damage. Okay, well we have a Light Lance, deal 2 damage to a creature and draw a card. That kills the Skeleton Warrior, but perhaps we want to kill the Dire Wolf first because he can do double damage. But the Skeleton Warrior is guaranteed damage. Let's go for him first. And with 3 punches, we can just 1, 2, 3, kill that Dire Wolf. It's the basic deck, so there's no loot in this room. Lovely. It's a basic deck, so I'm kind of glad that we were able to actually kill the enemies before they could hit us. After every combat, you will get random loot, or no loot, apparently, is what happened in this room. And we're just not going to use these healing herbs. We could use them right now. We could still play cards. Might as well play that one. You know, it just goes into our discard pile. But there's no reason to play the healing potion. One use, restore 5 HP, because we're at full health. Unlike a game like Slay the Spire, where a daze or wound or status card that gets added to your hand or your deck stays, those cards get removed between combats. In this game, Fate Hunters, your deck is always consistent between every combat. If I play this healing potion, it's one-time use only for the entire run. So if I use this, it's gone forever. If an enemy puts a status card in my deck, it's there forever, for the remainder of the game until I can find a way to remove it. Additionally, your discard pile will not get reshuffled until you shuffle it. If I go into the next room, I have a draw pile of 4 cards. I know what I'm going to draw. These cards, and then 1 random card, because you have a default draw of 5. Additionally, in Fate Hunters, I guess I kind of missed this step, there is no mana. You play all the cards in your hand, or as many as you would like, every turn. If we draw 10 cards, we could play 10 cards. If we draw 1, we can play 1. There's no mana, no energy, no magic, nothing like that. You just play the cards. So this healing potion, if I go to the next room, it'll discard, stay in my deck, and then I can play it again in the future. So I do not want to play it. So we'll draw those 4 cards, and then 1 random card that was shuffled in. 3 2-skeleton warriors, 3 of them. Well, we do have a dagger. Deal 2 damage to a creature and a 25% chance of dealing double damage. We've leveled up. We can do that. We can activate the ability right now to level up. Righteous Wrath. Deal 12 damage to a creature and 4 damage to your hero. That seems really bad. You lose 2 HP, gain a shield. That seems pretty bad. Draw 3 cards and then discard 2 cards. That doesn't seem that bad, actually. Being able to literally just choose your hand seems like it would be really nice to have. So we're just going to take it. It goes into our discard pile, and then when we shuffle, we'll get that card next time. Theoretically. So we have a couple of punches. 1, 2. We have a belt. We can draw 1 card and then put the other on our draw pile by drawing 2. I want to take Light Lance, because if I do this, it'll get a kill. So it kills, draws, and then we're done. Now, if we want, we could add in a dagger. I don't want to add in a dagger. I kind of want to skip that. We have a torch, which we did not use. It's a 1-use only item. We use it once, and it's gone forever. It will reduce the attack of all enemies by 1. Well, I don't want to do it. I want to, save that for a more difficult situation. We killed all the enemies. No reason to pop that right now. We can see what we're drawing next. Combat, punch, healing herbs, healing potion. Seems like a pretty bad draw. The other interesting thing about the fact that your state is kept between combats, which I think is very interesting, is statuses will also transition with you to the next combat. If we give ourselves, draw 1 extra card next turn, on the next combat we will draw 1 extra card. If we give ourselves a debuff, you draw 1 fewer cards next turn, we will draw 1 fewer cards in the next combat. So we have to be a little bit more careful in this game about what you do to yourself. In Slay the Spire, if you're playing as the defect and you toss out a hyper beam, that will debuff you for the rest of that remaining combat. But in the next combat, everything gets reset. This game does not have that. Everything in your deck and everything affecting you and your HP is always consistent between every combat. So now we have 4 of these guys, so we're kind of getting swarmed at this point. So we're going to kill 1, draw 3, discard 2. We don't need the healing on this turn, so honestly, if we're going to discard 2, we're going to discard the healing. Deal 2 damage and draw a card. Well, we can look in our draw pile and see that we're going to have at least 1 attack coming and then maybe the belt. The belt means that we can draw 1 more attack. Our power grows, and we can just take another card here. Pillar of Light, deal 2 damage to a creature. If you restore 4 or more HP this turn, deal 8 instead. Or Sacred Sign, deal 7 damage, then decrease this card's damage by 1. Again, this is going to get permanently worse over time. Or Inner Power, deal 2 damage, and last word, return to your hand all cards that were discarded that turn. So that Preacher card that we have to our deck, I can't look at it. The one that draws 3, discards 2, if we then play Inner Power as the last card with last word, we can get those cards back and then play them again. Or not play them again, I guess, because you discarded them, so you would be able to play them. But I think actually just Pillar of Light, just for, 2 damage, might be the best thing for us. The Torch would save us 1 HP. I don't think that's prudent. We're just gonna punch him, end turn, probably take 3. Nothing we could do about that. And it's kind of awful that we drew 5 attacks to kill a 1 HP enemy, but that's the name of the game. So we have things that we can add in. Throwing Axe, deal 3 damage to a random creature. Put this card on top of your draw pile instead of discarding. So every turn you can throw axe, throw axe, throw axe, throw axe. Not that bad. 1 use, gain 5 XP, levels you up, gains your super powerful cards and abilities maybe a little bit faster. I like that. Oh, and the other thing about Fate Hunters is you can take as many rewards as you want, or none. Deal 2 damage if your deck has 25 or more cards. Deal 5 damage instead. Well, we do need more damage. Throwing Axe is pretty good. I'll take that, but I don't want the Heavy Axe. I like keeping thin decks. So we can choose. Easy room, hard room. I'll go hard room. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Oh, okay, so they're dealing 12 damage, which is all of my HP, my max HP, not even my current HP, my max HP, immediately. We might just want to use the Torch, because if we don't, we're probably going to die, but let's see what happens first. Also, draw pile, Belt, Preacher. Definitely going to use Light Lance. Now this Dark Knight here, he has a shield. The first hit will be completely ignored. Well, that's awful. I don't want to hit him for 2 because that'll hit him for 0. Could hit him for 1 with the punch, but we got to take out this Goblin Shaman, who's giving every other creature +1 attack. So he's got to go first. We did have the belt. Put that on my draw. Oh, I picked the wrong card. I meant to keep the Preacher because then we could have just drawn this immediately, but instead I'm just going to play that, get rid of it. Honestly, hit him once to get rid of the shield. Torch reduces everyone's attack by 1. Now they're only dealing 7 damage. We'll heal for 1. That's a reusable heal. Are we going to use this for 2? No, I would rather use this for 5. Once only, but still use it for 5. So, I mean, that was a misplay. I misclicked. We've only played this game for like 45 minutes. It's going to happen. There's our Preacher card, which is the one that we wanted previously. So we kill him. And now everyone's damage is going down again. There's my all my attack cards. So we can, easily kill this Dark Knight. The Goblin, small oozes are doing 0. Let's get another card though. Repentance. Restore 2 HP. Place a non-heroic skill card from your discard on top of your draw pile. This turn, if you discard a card from your hand, deal 4 damage to a random creature. Restore 1 HP X times, where X is the number of cards that were discarded. Just restore 2 seems really nice, so we'll take that. And what are we drawing? We're drawing Dagger, Throwing Axe, and something else. Well, might as well. Draw 3. Discard 2. Discard the, I guess just discard the punches, because they're the worst cards in the deck. And we'll see if we can't get a critical strike here. Actually, let's just use the Throwing Axe first. Perfect. Now, these enemies are doing 0 damage, but we can't stall. If you try to stall for too long, more enemies will come. So we do have to kind of just try to kill them, I suppose. Guess we'll just hit that again. That should go on top of my draw pile. 1 use, restore 5. 1 use, stuns all. I'd rather just restore 5. We can take them both. And then once we use these, they're gone forever. That's acceptable. Normal or easy? Let's go normal. I guess that was the hard room. Makes sense. The enemies that were doing so much damage. Critical strike, another aura guy. I guess we'll just Throwing Axe. It's a pretty good, opener. Place a non-heroic skill card from your discard on top of your draw pile. Skill. So punch is a skill. Healing herbs is an item. You gotta remember that this is not, Slay the Spire. In Slay the Spire, this would be an attack. This is actually a skill. this would probably be a skill, but it's actually an item. Okay, so I guess we're just going to... I did not mean to do that, but that's fine. Give me Preacher to get through the deck faster. And then let's belt, take Preacher, then do this, then discard, and we're gonna discard the Punch, and discard the Light Lance, because I think we got him on this turn. Oh no, we don't. We have absolutely nothing in our hand. That's fine. Killed him. There's only 1 damage coming in. Heal up. Heal up. Another thing that I'm just struggling with personally is just when I right-click, I expect it to cancel, but it doesn't actually cancel. If you're holding a card and you right-click, it'll just play the card. You gotta drag it down to the bottom and release the button for it to no longer apply. So what do we want on top of our draw pile? Probably Preacher, and then we will just kill this guy. Okay. Confusion Potion. Choose a non-boss creature and swap the health and attack. Sure, why not? These one-time use cards are pretty interesting. Goblin, Direwolf. And, I mean, I guess I'm going through the mechanics of the game, but I should be talking about how I feel about them. I actually kind of like it. I like that you have a bit of deck permanence between combat zones. We haven't really found anything that is permanently added to our deck, but there are cards that add curses, and curses are basically... I'm gonna give you a Slay the Spire reference here. They're basically a status card that is permanent, and you have to play it to get rid of it, and when you play it, it takes 1 HP. So you could have a really powerful sword that gives you a curse. You know, it could deal 6 damage, but gives you a curse that means you take 1 damage in the future. And it effectively, you know, takes up a card that you can draw, so it's a bit of a trade-off. You can't just, you know, you can't just play Immolate or Hyper Beam or Bias Cognition from Slay the Spire and just completely reset the state of your deck and your person, your statuses, in between rooms. You have to actually kind of keep that in mind, that in the future you're going to have to deal with the problem that is getting you out of a jam now. And I kind of like that. That's a very interesting way of doing it. So we're going to Preacher. We do not need healing on this turn, so dump that, and then smack him. Draw? Should not have done this, but we'll just... Well, you know, if I'm not supposed to do it, then I could have just... Okay, go on top of my draw pile. Again, look, it's a new game. So we got our first boss, Cauldron. At the start of turn, spawn 2 random creatures, a goblin and a small ooze. I don't know what random means. I don't know if it's gonna spawn a 10-10, but it did just spawn a couple of garbage enemies, so... Throwing axe, hit him. You could, punch. Choose a non-boss creature and swap the attack and health. I guess we could have, you know, swapped the health of the small ooze and attacked him for 1, but it didn't really matter, did it? I'm not gonna play that just to make this guy do 1 extra point of damage to me. I gotta admit though, this throwing axe has been pretty... again, I right-click thinking it's not gonna do it, but it actually does play the card. So zombies, regeneration. At the end of turn, restore all HP. So you have to kill them all in one go, or not at all. Kind of awkward. Let's kill you first. Smack you. 50-50, hit the Cauldron. No! Well, we can maybe draw an attack. Yeah, let's draw a Preacher, because we actually do want to... Well, actually, hold on. Place a non-heroic skill card from your discard on top of your draw pile. Well, what's in our discard? Light Lance. I think that's a non-heroic skill, so why don't we restore 2 HP, put Light Lance on top of our draw pile, that way we can draw it with Preacher and then play it as an attack and then also get a draw out of it. So we'll draw 3, discard 2, we're going to discard these 2, then we're going to attack the zombie to kill him, and then we can stun all creatures, but that's probably a little bit of a waste on 2 damage that's incoming. We gotta actually hit the Cauldron, but this guy's very annoying. He just keeps summoning, you know, random enemies, and I don't really have a lot of, you know, damage output to deal with it. I'm basically just killing the enemies as they're as they're coming out, which is probably not how you want to be handling this fight, but we got nothing else, going for us. We didn't have a chance to add in a lot of really good cards. Okay, draw one, choose a card, draw this one. And the one time I wanted it to hit the wolf. The wolf. I will play this for 4 HP. It's gone forever, but we got a little bit of healing out of it. Another zombie, another direwolf. I guess it's not completely random. It's random from a pool of creatures, which is nice. Alright, wolf is gone. Draw 3, discard 2. Probably drop the potions. I don't see us needing them. Restore 1 HP. If we throwing axe, light lance throwing axe, we can actually play it again, which I like. We should try to dagger kill the zombie because it has a 25% chance of doing double damage. It did work. Then we hit him, the cauldron, get a throwing axe, hit the cauldron again. That repeating throwing axe is quite nice. You can upgrade cards, so upgrading this might be a good thing to think about. Maybe it does 4 damage or something, but either way, we'd probably like it. Store 2 HP, place a non-heroic skill card from your discard on top of your draw pile. Well, that's probably just going to be Preacher, because we have no discard pile right now. So dump the potion, honestly dump the punch, then throwing axe, didn't kill him, so we're just going to kill the direwolf instead. Restore 2 HP, bring back probably... If you store 4 more HP this turn, deal 8 damage instead. Probably just bring back the draw card. That seems to be a pretty good card to have. There we go, and I think we got him now. Oh, if this hits. It didn't hit him. Again, I keep thinking right-clicking is going to cancel. It does not actually do the cancel. It's kind of frustrating for me, and probably for you too. All right, how about this? Throwing axe. Well, hold on. Kill you. Smack you. I did this wrong. I should have throwing axed, then hit the 2 damage plus the draw, then throwing axe, then belt, then throwing axe again. You know what? It doesn't matter. We're gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him because we have the cards we need to kill him. My power grows. We have some more things we can add. Escape from the tower and keep all your gold. Dagger, freeze potion. These are awful. I'm only gonna take that one. But I am gonna upgrade. Duelist, deal 2 damage. If only 1 creature is in the room, deal 6 damage instead. Armed and dangerous, 1 time, add a bunch of garbage to your hand and then upgrade it. So it adds 5 upgraded weapons, or brainstorm. Look at the top 5 cards of your draw pile, take 1 and discard others. So brainstorm would be a really good one for any card that says, last word. Take all the things that you discarded and put them back in your hand, because you can brainstorm, last word, take all 4 of those cards, put them back in your hand and play them. I kind of like brainstorm just because it is choose 1 card. And then we're gonna go to the next room. By the way, so that scroll, well, let's do this first. Fate points. We can choose what to do to our deck using 5 fate point powers. We can spend 3 to choose a tarot card, which is a passive ability. We can spend 5 to delve a heroic skill card, which basically means we get another choice. Delve a legendary item card. Whoop. Exile a card so we can remove, one of the crappy 1 damage punches. Heal to full. Increase max HP. I've never done tarot. I'm going to try that. At the beginning of your turn, you always draw exactly 5 cards. Could be good, could be bad. When you play a curse, you draw 2 cards, add 6 to your deck. These are the cards that you play them to lose 1 HP. Play with the top card of your library revealed. I mean, that's just literally a benefit. Or we could reroll for 2 FP, but I don't have 2 FP because it cost 5 to get to this point. I don't know what that means, but Devil could be very interesting. I have had a run in Fate Hunters where I constantly was adding curse cards to my deck, but I had a lot of healing to counteract them, and this would have been perfect for that deck, because you play the curse, you draw more cards, you play a card that does a lot of damage, adds a curse, you play a heal, and you can kind of just rinse and repeat forever. But I guess we're just going to take, the moon? Let's take the devil. There go those curses. So when we play them, we'll lose HP, but then we'll draw 2 cards. Why not? Oh, because it only costs 3, not 2. Oh, I got it. So then we'll do banishment, and then we'll remove a crappy punch. Get out of here. Next, level cleared. You have 0 gold, 0 times 1.0. Now, so far we've been just kind of dealing with combat mechanics in the game. We've not yet had to talk about gold, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. The unlocks in this game, every single unlock in this game, you require gold to get. The only way to get gold is to find it on a run, and you have to take a card that gives you gold on your run. These cards that give you gold, they're all garbage, and you can only keep the gold if you abandon your run before you finish it. This is the crux of my problem with this game. So far, the mechanics have been interesting. You know, I don't care that there's no animation in the game. I don't care that, you know, there's only 2 soundtracks that loop repeatedly in my ears. I don't care about any of that. You know, the gameplay is actually pretty interesting. The fact that you have a permanent deck that has a save state, the fact that you can, you know, buff yourself for the next combat by, you know, tactically finishing off a room at the right moment. Oh, that's pretty interesting. You know, there's 5 classes. They all have kind of different class abilities. You can build different deck archetypes. You know, we haven't had any curses in this run, but the last run that I played, I had 5 cards that added curses to my deck or played off of curses. It's interesting. But in order to unlock anything, you have to make your run worse willingly. You have to say, I'm going to take this card. What does this card do? Gain 10 gold. That's it. That's the only thing it does. You don't play it. You have to keep it in your deck for the entire run, kill a boss, and then leave. End the run, go back to the main menu, and just start another one. It's grindy. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea, but it's actually incredibly frustrating, because what if you have a good run, you take a bunch of gold cards because you want to, you know, unlock some stuff, and then you die because it's like, well, I drew a hand that had 4 gold cards and 1 card that, you know, dealt 1 damage to an enemy. Of course I'm gonna die, you know? It's an absolutely horrible way to do unlocks in a game, because it does not reward you for getting far in the game, for experiencing more content. It rewards you for stopping your run. It rewards you for literally saying, okay, I've had enough fun for today. I'm gonna, you know, pack it in. You know, I don't want to see how this deck performs in the future. Just get me out of here. And that is incredibly frustrating for me as a player, because I don't want to grind. I want to see how far this deck can go. I want to see if I can find the end boss of the game with this crappy deck that I built and somehow make it work. I don't want to, you know, leave the run, go back to the tower, spire, you get it? Go back to the tower, take all of my gold and unlock, you know, nothing because I only have 10 gold because it's the first boss, you know? Because the further you go, you get a bigger gold reward. I absolutely hate that mechanic in the game for that reason. It rewards you stopping playing, and it rewards you for grinding. Like, you could just, you know, play repeatedly, get to the first boss 50 times, get 10 gold each time, and then unlock a few things. That's not fun to me. I don't have fun grinding. I have fun playing the game. You know, I would love it if everything was just unlocked immediately, but I understand, you know, you've got to have some, you know, progressive unlocks. Slay the Spire, you can get all the unlocks in like 4 hours, and you can complete your run every single time. Maybe not 4 hours. I mean, if you play really quickly, maybe. But like, there's not a lot of unlocks in that game. You saw it on the menu. There's like 5 different characters. You know, some characters have hundreds of gold that are required to unlock them. Most cards that I've seen only give you 10 gold or less, so you have to take, you know, 1 card for each, you know, amount of gold you want, fight the boss, and then leave. And each one of those characters, they're gonna have their own supplies, won't they? You know? So you're gonna have to collect thousands of gold in order to unlock everything. It's weird, but I kind of get a microtransaction-y vibe from it. I kind of feel like you know, this is like, do you want to leave or do you want to keep going? And then if you keep going and you die, it's like, spend 99 cents and you can keep the gold that you earned on this run, you know? I kind of have that weird feeling that the people who designed this game used to be mobile game developers or something. Or maybe they're trying to make it into a mobile game, or they're porting it, well, not porting it, because, you know, it's incomplete. If it's porting it, it'd at least be complete, but garbage. But this game is not garbage. But that mechanic, the mechanic of getting gold, unlocking things, is horrible. And I cannot in good conscience say something like, I've enjoyed this game. Because it's weird. I have enjoyed this game when I'm playing the game, not when I'm thinking about the meta progression, thinking about the unlocks of, oh, I need to, you know, take all the gold cards I can, fight the first boss, get out, come back in. You know, that's not fun. So we're just gonna continue on here anyways, because I've been sitting at that screen for far too long. These are the curse cards, by the way. Lose one. It's not that bad, though, because we can just, you know, get them all out of here immediately, draw a whole bunch of cards, and then, you know, restore HP and stuff. Hey, achievement unlocked, cursed. Probably, like, play a whole bunch of curse. But yeah, it's weird, you know? I don't like the fact that in order to do meta progression, I need to quite literally end my run. Kind of ruin it too, you know? What happened? Okay, that's on top of the draw pile. Just kill him and then move on. There's no loot in this room. Oh, fucking fantastic. Yeah, like, just let me progress. And then, oh yeah, you fast. You just deal 1 damage to me immediately. You know, let me progress, and then let me get some rewards at the end of it. You know, how far did I get? You defeated 14 rooms of combat. Here's your 14 gold. Fine. You know what? It's grindy, potentially, but at least I feel like by getting better at the game, by playing better, by learning the mechanics, I would be able to get further, experience more content, experience more combat, and then also get rewarded for it. But the fact that you have to, I kind of feel like you have to ruin your deck in order to get the unlocks. Just, it ruins the game for me, because I really just don't care, you know? Anyways, we're gonna discard these curses. Although, you know what? Throwing axe, curse throwing axe could have been really nice there, but yeah, there's just something about the game that I just absolutely do not enjoy at all. Okay, play that. Okay, I gotta choose target, I suppose. I keep thinking it's the throwing axe, which is gonna be random, but it's obviously not. Halberd, deal 1 damage to a creature and adjacent ones. Yeah. Look at the top 5 cards of your draw pile, take 1 and discard the others. I actually don't want that 1 damage punch, so I'm gonna take... Oh, it shuffled. Oh, that's interesting. So because there were only 2 cards, it actually shuffled to get these cards. I'm gonna take this, play it, it'll be on my draw pile. The hell are you? Taunt. You must target creatures that have taunt. Well, I imagine the throwing axe can probably get around that. Wraith, ethereal. Damage from weapons decreases to 1. I guess a skill is not a weapon. So Pillar of Light would be able to hit, the punch would be able to hit, etc. Entomb. Discard a random card from your hand. So if he hits me, then I lose a card. So we want to kill all of them, I guess. So throwing axe. Yep, it gets around taunt. Oh, Entomb happens when he dies. I see. Well, that's annoying. We actually want to belt. We're gonna take... Well, actually, it really doesn't matter. Take the throwing axe. Play it. Draw 3 cards. Discard 2. Guess we'll discard those 2. Play this. It keeps hitting the enemy who only gets hit for 1 damage, which is unfortunate. Again. So we're gonna take 4, be on 1 HP, and then probably die soon, but that's okay. His deck had no, like... It had nothing going on for it. It had no soul. It had, you know, no way of getting stronger. It didn't do a lot of damage. It didn't heal us or anything like that. It just kind of ended up being kind of a garbage deck, and we're gonna die right now. I'm actually gonna die to a curse. Maybe there's an achievement. Oh, all right. And by dying, first of all, we found no gold on that run, so literally that run was pointless. We got absolutely nothing from it, but even if we did get gold, by trying to go further and trying to experience more of the game and dying, we would get literally nothing from it. Again, it kind of feels microtransactionally. Like I'm just waiting for a pop-up to appear that's like, do you want to spend 99 cents in order to keep your gold? But that doesn't happen. And I'm like, whoa, why is it not asking me if I want to keep my gold? It's a horrible progression mechanic. And as a result, I do not want to play this game. I think this game has a lot of very interesting ideas for a deck builder. Again, the fact that your deck is permanent between combats is very interesting. The fact that the statuses that you are affected by are very interesting. There needs to be UI elements that shows you what your current status effects are, that you're drawing more cards next turn, whatever. It needs to be simplified. They need new music. But I can't really concentrate on any of those things when there's this giant turd of a progression system that's right in front of me that's locking the entire game off to me. All of the classes, all of the cards, I can't play with any of those because I'm not the type of gamer who will say, yeah, I'm done. I want to cash in this run and, unlock a better punch, and then I'll just play again with that better punch added to the system, I want to see if I can get to the end game with the basic deck immediately, right off the gate. I want to see how far I'll go, learn what's coming up in the future, learn what the enemies are, and then start thinking, okay, well now I have 100 gold, what am I going to unlock? Well, I know that there's an enemy that is a cauldron that summons more enemies, maybe I need some AoE unlocked, and then I'll unlock, or man, there was this really good card that I saw that gave me curses. Maybe I'll take something that interacts with curses. I can't do that because I don't get any gold, because I keep wanting to play the game. It's weird. They're punishing you for playing the game. It frustrates me because it's horrible design as far as I'm concerned. It's like the design of a gambling machine, or again, like a free-to-play mobile game where they're trying to wring every last penny out of you. This is not a design that should be in a $15, $20 early access title, especially early access. They should be wanting you to be able to actually unlock things so you can play around with it and test it and give them feedback. Well, here's my feedback, Fate Hunters developers. I'm not playing this game anymore because I don't want to grind and constantly end my run over and over and over again just to get a pittance of gold so that I can get some unlocks. I'd rather have other things to do with my time. And as a result, I also cannot recommend this game to anybody. Again, it's an interesting idea for a game. The mechanics are interesting. The unlock system completely breaks it for me and ruins the experience. So take that as you will. Fate Hunters, it's early access on Steam. It's like $15 or $20, I forget which one. I got this key from the developers for free, by the way. But if I didn't, and if I paid for it, I would probably ask for my money back, because this is a game that I would not play in its current state. Maybe it's going to get better in the future. I really hope it does. But as of right now, it's an interesting game that is just locked behind a grind wall, and I don't want to grind for access to whatever content's on the other side of that grind wall. So I'm not going to play it. But anyways, for those of you who are still here after having heard me rant for like 10, 15 minutes about this stupid paywall that exists or the stupid gold wall that exists, locking me out of energy potion, 1 use, draw 3 cards. Explosive potion, 1 use, deal 4 damage to a creature. I can't buy any of these cards because I literally can't. I'm never going to get the gold for them. And, each character is also going to have gold to unlock their own cards, I think. Because, these are pretty thematic for an inquisitor, a warrior, basically. Shields, swords, halberds, healing herbs, potions. I highly doubt that actually, we can probably just check. I highly doubt that this oh, no, I can't check. It's 100 gold. So, I guess we'll never know. But I highly doubt that the Arcanist is going to have the same things to unlock, So, there's Fate Hunters for you. Again, to summarize, interesting mechanics that are completely ruined due to a grind wall that forces the player to not have fun playing the game. And for those of you still here, again, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. You can check me out on Twitch for when I go live. This is not a Twitch video. I just recorded this for YouTube. And I hope to see you here again for the next Let's Look At.